Okay, so here we are. Welcome to this new Embodiment Café. Today is Monday, the 16th of May. And today we will talk about one of the aspects of being a whole, shape and postures and boundaries. And we will make also some connections with the last movement practice. So there is a lot to talk about it. I had this vision of trying to make some connections between those things. And I also have some notes, so sorry if you see that I'm looking down because I don't want to lose track of what I would like to say. So let's dive into it now. So what it is, what does it mean being a whole? So we know more or less what it means. Yeah, we want to be one, not disconnected, and something that is integer. Yeah. So one thing. But about embodiment and regarding what we are doing together, what does it mean for real? Yeah. So usually there are different ways of talking in embodiment, and some people are talking about the body, and then there is the mind, and then there are other things. Or there is another approach from other people which are saying, okay, there is the mind, or usually this is what is happening. People are more into the mind, they're more cognitive, and then they have a body which is following them as if it's a taxi for the mind. This is a quotation from one of my teachers, Mark Walsh. And actually, or maybe we have other description of the human being as a behavioral being, or as different parts, different anatomical parts all together, or as a spiritual being plus something else. Actually, we are all of it, and we are interconnected. I was talking about this also, I think, in the first Embodiment Café, just briefly. And because I think it's really an important step to get on it. So we are not just a body which is giving signal to the mind, and we are not just a mind which is giving signal to the body, and for whom is believing it. We are not just a soul which is living inside a material body and so on, but we are everything. It's like we would say, and it's actually something that is said also, it's like saying that we are made of blood, and or we are made of bones, we are made of muscles, we are made of cells, or no, we are made of organs, no, we are made of something else. And so no, we are made of all those things, and at the same time they're not separated each from each other, but they are all interconnected and they are communicating to each other. And I know that it's a little bit difficult to think as ourselves, even for me. I would say that I'm trying to really to go on this flow, on this idea, let's say, on this philosophy. It's really difficult sometimes to get the meaning, to get the taste of being a whole, yeah. And this is sometimes more easy to understand. Sometimes we are doing something that we really like, for example, and we are completely into it. We are really immersed completely in what we are doing. We have a certain degree of awareness. Maybe we are, I will say something really crazy, we are not aware that we are aware, maybe, but we are completely immersed and we are living fully that experience. And this thing is making us be in a flow. This is what we can experience us as a whole, as something that is full, that is made of, yes, different parts, but we don't feel the difference between the different parts because everything is so good connected and everything is so good communicating. We don't need to look at them as different. We don't need to divide them. Actually, our need to divide all the different parts and say we are a body, we are a mind, and we have this and we have that, and so on, it's because we are human beings, and as humans, we are limited. And we need to give labels to things so that we can understand. We need to give names to things so that we can understand things, and when we understand, then we can go a step further and we can go into, let's say, the experience and really understand better what it means. So we need a little bit to divide things so that we can learn what it is, so that we can have experience of it, and then we can put them back together. But we have to remember to put them back together at a certain point. It's the same thing that they were doing with medicine. They had to cut the human body and divide the different things to understand what they were and give names. But then they have to also understand how they work together, the different things. Yeah. Same thing with this concept of being a whole human being. And for me, we could say divide and give some labels as body, mind, like thoughts, yeah. And there is a soul, and there is also another dimension that is the behavior that we have in outside in the real world. So this wholeness, this us, yeah, this you, this me, this us, this all of these beings, human beings, they have a certain history, and they come into the world with a certain shape, with a certain posture. And this posture is directly related to who they are. Yeah, the posture that you have is directly related to who you are, and who you are. So this wholeness that you are is so much related to your history. So what it was before, what you lived before, the experiences, but also the possibilities or the non-possibilities that you had, or for example, the culture, the system that we are immersed in, and the people that we were meeting or not meeting, for example, and the moment that we were meeting different people, and or for example, the school that we were going to, and everything. So everything that we were exposed to, as well as what we are at the beginning when we start this journey. So when we come to this world as babies, as little creatures. Yeah. So it's not just who we are at the beginning, but it's also what are all the experiences which are shaping us and are making us who we are. Yeah. And all this, as I said, those experiences and culture, system, and everything, put everything inside, whatever is coming up to your mind, put it all together. Everything, as I said, is shaping us, which means the posture that we have, so how we show ourselves into the world, how we go into the world, it's directly related to who we are, which is directly related to our history, culture, tradition, everything that we've told about it before. And posture that we have, in fact, when we look to someone, we could really say something about him or about her. Yeah? Someone who is often going on with shoulder in the front and looking down, walking like that, maybe I would think, I mean, if it's something that is continuously, yeah, not if it's something just of the day, but it gives me the impression that has some, not sadness, but maybe has some difficulties on showing himself or to take his space in the world, for example, or someone who is for example, walking and pushing himself like that. It's giving me another idea. Someone who has, for example, during walking has not a rhythmical with the same rhythm while he's walking. Also, that is giving me another impression. Or just when they are standing or sitting, someone who is sitting with wide legs respects someone who is sitting with crossed legs. I mean, I'm not talking of one situation, I'm talking of the situation is repeated, yeah? It can give me the impression of how this person is. And that's how we relate to each other, how we create also relationship, because the first thing that we see of someone when we meet someone, for example, for the first time, we get the first impression looking to him or her, and the first impression is given from the posture that they have. It's not given from only from what they say, but it's given really from the posture that they have. Then we have to say also that this posture can also change. For example, when we are under stress. When we are under stress, the posture can change and actually is showing our modalities to adapt to different situations. And of course, if the situation is more happy and with lots of enthusiasm, or where there is lots of social engagement and it's making us feel comfortable and safe, the shape that we will take, it will be of one type. Instead, if we are under stress and we are struggling with something, the shape that we will get, or how our posture will change, it will change towards another type of shape, another type of posture, for sure. And this is strictly connected to our history. So what was happening when we were growing up, that was connected, for example, to stress and how we were behaving. And the behavior is living in the shape that we create in the moment that we live again the stress. So this is a little bit, I don't know if I was quite clear, but the shape, so the posture that we have usually is connected to our history, but also how we relate to the stress, of the daily stress. Now, I'm not talking about something really stressful or really which has in a scale 0 to 10, where 0 is nothing and 10 is really high stress. I'm not talking about stress at 8 or 9. I'm talking about stress like 4 or 5. So daily stress, yeah. And also in those cases, the posture that we create, that we get, it's connected directly to our history. So how we were behaving in stressful situations, what for us was stressful, and this behavior is living inside the shape that we are making in the moment that we are living again this another stressful situation. Okay. So I just want to make a little jump back. It's really short because otherwise we don't have so much time to talk about the other things. Otherwise we can talk about it the next time. Maybe now it's already enough. But just to make a short connection to the last movement practice, the last movement practice, it was about the length, the width, and the depth that we have. This is an exploration that I got from the Institute of Richard Strozzi-Heckler. And actually, each dimension that we explored, it's connected, has also a meaning, and it's connected, they are connecting it to some words which have a big meaning in our life. So the length is connected to dignity, the width is connected to belonging, so relationship, being part of something, and front and back, the depth is connected to the purpose and where we are going towards, what we are going towards to. And so just to make a short connection, if we are thinking of a stressful situation that we are experiencing, but not something really too stressful, as I said before, in a scale 0 to 10, not 8, but maybe 4 or maximum 5, so something daily. And we are bringing ourselves into the straight position, and we are feeling this length and this width and this depth, and we are thinking of this stressful situation, how my posture is changing, how do I feel and where do I feel these stressful situations? Yeah? And for example, for me, it is in some stressful situations, not all of them, of course, depends also what it is and how they are coming into life. So, but in some of them, I'm, for example, shrinking in width. So I'm getting smaller in width, as if I don't want to occupy too much space, for example. And another thing that I noticed is that, for example, I'm changing the posture of front and back. So I'm going a lot towards the front and not staying on my center. So this would need a little bit of another Embodiment Café, or maybe I will just make a video about it so that I will explain also better the meaning of the front and back, and even better also the meaning of the belonging and the dignity, the length. But one of the connections that I found is also that it's connected also to boundaries. So I will just put it on the plate and say that for my experience, and this is my experience, and maybe for you, maybe it can be different, one of the things that were missing sometimes were boundaries. So I was not putting enough boundaries. And while I was exploring this and I was thinking, I was not putting enough boundaries in this direction, so in the back, and I wanted to put some more boundaries on the back. And the next time or in another video, I will explain you better what is back and front. Then putting boundaries on the back, it was giving me the possibility to completely change immediately the shape, which was in much in the front. I was going in the back, and I was gaining length. So I was getting a little bit more dignity if we want to look it on this under this point of view. And not only I was getting more length, but I was feeling that I could open, so meaning I could reach on the sides. And while I was keeping the boundaries, so pushing a little bit the back and say, okay, now back, you stay in the back, and I'm starting from here. This is my boundaries. Now I'm starting from here. This means that I was able to stay more in my center. And staying more in my center, meaning that I had also more equilibrium to get more on the side and get more connected to the, let's say, create better relationship. This is what was just the outcome of a long practice, yeah? So this means that if we are whole, just to summarize a little bit, we are not if, we are whole. We are made of many different things, but they are all interconnected and they are working perfectly together. And what is also part of us is what is around us. It's not only what is inside us, but also what is around us, meaning history, our history and the history of the place where we are living in, the system and the people that we are meeting, everything that we talked about it. Everything was and is continuously shaping us. So the posture that we bring in the world, our posture, yeah, how we are made and how we bring ourselves in the world is strictly connected to all of this. But at the same time, it's not fixed. Because in the moment that we are becoming aware of our posture, and I don't say, oh, we don't like it, then we change it, and then it's all perfect. No. It needs a certain, let's say, time to say, okay, this is my posture. I welcome it. Thank you for being with me till now, because it was needed till now, and because it was like that had to be, because I was living in this place, I was having those experiences, I was living in this other place, I was getting in touch with all these cultures. That is, so that was the posture that I could have. And the moment that we bring awareness to how we are, the shape that we get, the shape that we bring in the world, then, and we welcome it and we look at it, and then we start playing a little bit with it, then we can also understand why it is like that, and then we can also change a little bit something so that we can really, I don't want to say function or work better in the world, but that we can feel better bringing ourselves into the world. We can feel better in being relationship with the other one. And we can feel better in ourselves. And we can say, endlich, at last I'm feeling good. And I can relax because I know how I'm behaving when the stress is arriving, and how I'm dealing with it, and I can choose how to deal then the next time. And just a little thing more, and then we close, and I have to look at it. There is a comment also already. It's not only true that everything that is outside and our thoughts and who we are, it's shaping our posture, but also our posture, it's shaping our thoughts and our behaviors. So it's not just one way, but can be also the other way around. And so with this, we also have lots of hope for it. So it's not all done. we can we can choose, and that's the most important thing. So I read now what was happening, and I also get in touch also with the Facebook friends. One moment. Let's see if there are also some. I got it so long here to arrive. Okay, so Facebook don't have, but we have here. Comment. So embodiment is about dismantling us, trying to understand the parts, and in the end accepting again that all belongs together and is also all one. And without the other part, nothing. I don't understand, and without the other part, nothing. But it's also that, yeah, it's also that. It's not only dismantling us. We don't want to divide us. We want to understand us, and because it's difficult to understand us immediately as something that is so complex, and we are beautiful. Human beings are beautiful, yeah. All the beings are beautiful, actually, but we are so beautiful, so complex at the same time. Yeah, that is so difficult to understand each other. It's difficult to understand myself. So one of the way is to slowly step into awareness. And how do? We do it by steps. So we go into the body, then we bring a little bit of thoughts, then we see how we behave, then we bring this into changing shape, and then we bring this changing shape into the world, and so on. There are many ways of going into embodiment. Also, now I say it, and maybe someone won't agree so much with me, but maybe also doing yoga lessons, but with a strong awareness of what we are doing, really staying in the shape that we are doing, not for the sake of the shape, but for the beauty of feeling the shape and feeling ourselves from the inside, how the body is moving. Yeah, not just the shape which is static, but also how we go into it. So the movement and feeling how the body is going into it. Already that is a good step before stepping into the embodiment. But yes, one way is to dismantling us and to try to get in touch with us. Actually, we need labels to understand each other, because we don't have the capacity to understand the wholeness of ourselves, the beauty, this complexity all in once. So we need to do it by step. And acceptance is, yes, one of the biggest parts. Okay. I will, yeah. Thank you all for being here, participating to this live. Thank you, Marcus, and thank you for the comments, and which are also making me more think about it and more experience also in my body what I'm saying. And see you with the next Embodiment Café, the next Monday at 1:15. And tomorrow morning there is another movement practice. This time it will be a little bit earlier, because I have an appointment later. I'm sorry, it was not possible to move it. So it will be around 8:15, always in the morning, but 15 minutes earlier. And yeah, so see us tomorrow with whom can practice live. Otherwise, see you the next week on Monday at 1:15. And meanwhile, have a nice embodied week. Ciao.